In this day and age, when it comes to getting abs or just losing body fat in general, men seem to be having it pretty rough, let's just say that. Let me tell you a story that happened recently. I was at my friend's frat, sober of course, I don't drink, because I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't as actually introverted as I thought. So what better way to do it than go to a frat totally sober with a guy who doesn't drink, dressed in polo, just busting out the worm. I have no idea if there's a video, but I'm sure there's one somewhere. If I can find it, I'll put it on the screen. And just to give you some context, I have thought to myself to be more of an introverted person growing up, just throughout my whole 20-some years of living. But the point of this story is that you cannot trust your brain because it will hypnotize you into making you think that you can't do something, and then you find more arguments to support that idea. So first of all, raw belief alone is going to get you way farther than you ever thought it could. So before you even start a protocol of a diet or training program, just think to yourself, who is the person that actually follows this program? You need to mentally image yourself as to the person that is already at the goal that they want to be at. A little bit of a psychology lesson, but whenever you have a goal or a picture you paint in your head of the goal, your brain will subconsciously maneuver its way through all the obstacles to actually get there. Pretty neat, if you ask me. But I'm just a nerd, so what do I know? Actually, probably a lot, huh? You know, there are way worse things going for me, so. So my next point is it's not entirely your fault because the world is kind of against us here. We go into any sort of grocery store that we go to, there's going to be all these types of pastries right in the front whenever you walk in. And normally whenever you go into a grocery store, all the healthy foods are on the outside. And it's almost impossible to just stumble upon, oh, a pack of ground beef, we'll throw this in the cart. And especially with it being so expensive, you kind of just get what you pay for at this point. So instead of you thinking about wasting money, think of the person that you already want to be, the person that you have image in your head. Whenever you get to the grocery store, you already want to spend the money on the more expensive, healthier foods because that's what the person who is in your dream position is already doing. By the way, my name's Finn. I help men who are in their 20s or 30s who lack confidence redefine themselves through losing body fat. All right, Finn, enough of this bullshit. What protocol would you put me on to actually get abs? When it comes to training, legitimately do anything that works, anything that stimulates the muscle, anything that makes you actually have a good time when you're in the gym. And even if you're on a time crunch, this will work perfect for you. My light is dying. I am losing constant lighting for this video. Let's move this guy right over here. Dude, it is dead. Holy shit. I legitimately always tell people you could do anything, but as long as you just do it consistently, it will work. A good few workout programs you could try are the Arnold split, push-pull legs, full body, upper, lower. There's a lot, honestly. You could go literally do any of these. Unless you're doing some like grandma kettlebell workout, I'll actually smack you in the face if you come to me with that. I mean, it may work, but that's just not my approach for it. So don't even come to me with that bullshit. So once you have an idea with what training program you actually want to pursue, at that point, it just comes to training hard and frequently. So a quote that I like to go by is train hard and recover harder. Training frequency is very important in this aspect, but also your recovery comes into very big, what's a word that I could use? It's a very big outlier that a lot of people miss up. So when it comes down to recovery, let your body do the hard part that it needs to do. Even though you don't think about it, even though it's not a hard part for you, the hard part for your body is recovering from your workout. So 8 to 9 hours of sleep every night. If you can't get 10, beautiful, dude. I would honestly give you a hug. And remember, when it comes to your training frequency, consistency is key, like I said, but that doesn't mean you need to just have a streak of days that you worked out. And once you miss one, you think the world's going to end. It's going to be like bridges crumbling around. Dude, you'll be fine. Consistency is built over years, not just a streak. All right, I'm moving closer since the light's dying. Thanksgiving, right? I'm at the table. There's about 20 other people at the table. There are a few of my family members sitting across from me who are probably in about their mid-20s, maybe even their 30s, that are bantering to each other about how that he's eating carbs, Finn. He's eating carbs. What are you going to do about it? I'm like, dude, nothing. Do you see me with a huge plate of apple pie? Nutrition-wise, the dose is always going to make the poison. You have 3 macronutrients, being carbs, fats, and protein, and those make up all the calories that you eat in a day. Carbs alone are never going to be the outlier as to why you can't lose weight. It's going to be the amount of calories that you eat in a day that totally depends on how much weight you're going to lose or how much weight you're going to gain, or if you just stay stagnant. So let's say you were in a calorie deficit, which means you are burning more calories than you consume. This means that no matter how many carbs that you eat, as long as you're eating that total amount of calories in your calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It's inevitable. Thanos snapping. But with being heavily active and restricting calories to some extent, you are going to get hungry at some point. And with that, I say fiber is the most important thing because the more fiber you eat, the more fuller you will feel, which you don't want to go too far because too much fiber can really disrupt your stomach. I would say like for men, 30 to 40 grams a day, you'll be all right. Anything more than that may not kill you, but if you feel like you're having a stomach ache, you probably know why at that point. I remember a time where I really overdid my fiber and then one morning I just ate one banana and was curled up in a ball on my couch. Not a fun experience, and I will tell you that after having a lot of water, it did all come out the next day. I'm kind of happy I could talk about shit jokes on my channel and not get flamed for it, but you know. Other tricks to keep you full in a calorie deficit are going to be caffeine. Caffeine can really blunt your appetite, but if you do too much, you'll probably be bouncing off the walls, probably have a lot of panic attacks. At least that's what happens for me. I don't like to do too much caffeine, but I know my limit, so if you know your limit, go for it. And right now, I'm kind of just rambling. My light is gonna die. I know you could see my face just darkening, but I also did tackle a topic talking about protein, carbs, and fats being your macros. What are some good sources of protein, carbs, and fats for you to eat? Protein, you're probably just gonna focus on a lot of meats, so chicken, salmon, steak, eggs too. Greek yogurt is a good one. You can eat a lot of it and still not have that much calories. When it comes to carbs, I'll give you a few. Any sort of fruit, berries. I recommend any sort of berry or kiwis or pineapple just because they're the most nutrient dense. You'll feel a lot better after eating them, trust me. Rice, potatoes, rice cakes. But if I were you, I'd focus more on sweet potatoes or white potatoes because they're more fibrous and more nutrient dense. So they're like the king at this point. They're like the Elon Musk of carbohydrates because that shit will drive you like a fucking Tesla. Healthy fats that you do not want to stay away from. Just because they're called fat does not mean they actually make you fat. They're actually very great and very crucial for hormone production. Also, to dumb it down for you, testosterone production. So some great sources of fat that you want to get in are going to be eggs, avocado, any sort of nuts, macadamia nuts, almonds. I do a lot of walnuts too because I'm a fucking weirdo, I know. Some fatty fish too, like salmon and sardines. And a lot of these other fats that I listed also have omega-3s, which are very good for cholesterol balance, which means that you're going to be a healthy man. So yeah, kudos to that. Plus, I don't know what it is, but it makes your skin glow. Like, I don't know what it is. Last thing I want to throw at you is that dehydration will constantly make you hungry if you are not paying attention to it. And dehydration, I don't just mean water, I mean salt and other sort of electrolytes like potassium and magnesium. You can get a blend on Amazon, it's pretty cheap. And plus, remember, you're that guy that invests in yourself now, so don't be a pussy. I was once that pussy. If you want to work one-on-one with me, there's a link in the description below. I don't work with everyone, I work with people who are committed to see results. And I did want to go in depth for teaching a lot of you guys how to track calories and the importance of it. I don't really have as much time. It's about like 5:30 in the morning right now, but I made a separate video for that. It's going to be on the screen right here. Feel free to give it a click, give it a watch, and see what you think of it, all right?